He's already recording.
Oh, okay.
The person someone has already let in already, so you don't even have to worry about that.
So I'm Dave. I want to go to my.
And now, do we have to mute this computer?
Yeah.
Okay. So just don't forget about that then. Okay.
Start video. It's already started. Okay.
Yep.
It's already started. I want to get my picture in here again. So that'll be him.
Right. So do you have all your screens going?
Let me check here. Okay, where are my screens? Where are my screens? Black magic. I just want to see behind you. Black magic, that's design, okay. That's it. I got to turn the mics on. If you'll be here today or not? He wasn't here. No, he was from north. Oh, close enough to trailer. Oh, is that what he's doing? Yeah. Yeah. I come over for a beer. That's right. Sorry. You like it, you drink it.
Uh-oh.
Never been a dark beer. That's why I don't like this. Oh. Well, I don't really ever get it, but I'm always thinking, there's a town now. So, not much. Like that, actually, for my hands. They got those good cameras up there. You get it. You make it short. Cool. Yeah. I was gonna ask you, how do I hold up on the snow?
There's me, I don't think I want to do that. I know. Oh, no.
Good. We're supposed to be.
Hear it? Well, it's quiet.
well,
This
it's
is quiet,
supposed to
but
be.
I can hear you
Yeah.
talking.
And that was heavy snow. So. Yeah. That was heavy snow.
No, now I don't hear anything. Okay. Okay, well, I hear you making like noise.
Oh, I had to walk in, that's right.
Oh.
You're talking to the wrong time. Testing.
No. Okay, now this is green.
Actually, I don't use all those old race like that.
Okay, it's red.
Testing, 1, 2, testing, 1, 2. Yeah. I learned how to take them and they purpose them. Yeah, they got the I said, yeah, they said it's pressure treated. I said, I actually, so that all that.
David, there's no video.
Yep, we're working on it.
Thank you.
And I said, and it's only, I said, it's only Spain. I stay in my home.
Try it now. This wasn't fully in. Try it now.
There are no cameras there.
Nothing is it
Yeah, everything's clean now.
okay?
Yeah,
Is that camera's on?
so sometime.
Okay.
Saturday.
Or the mic.
I'm gonna be putting plants at night. My everything's going on. So I've got over that. Around the house, where I know how. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know how I'm gonna landscape them, but eventually I'm gonna have, you know, I wanna buy a couple of new and new plants for around the front porch. Once it's built. But, yeah.
Do you have camera one? No, you don't have any cameras at all. All right. Yeah, this was for the sound. Well, we just want camera, well, where do you have camera for going to? Where's it going to?
But, yeah. And make it look really neat. This part here with the dust. I usually have to.
Hold on.
You were saying. Yeah. It's clean. This side of that would be easier.
Yeah, it does. It's got a HDMI, so.
All right. Yeah.
Are you getting any cameras?
No.
No.
No cameras, no laptops.
Oh, man.
We got sound.
So,
We got,
We got this in program. Everything is okay here.
yeah,
that drive away.
It's going in the computer right here.
What is it? I have to see the name.
Right there.
this is, Camera one. Camera two. Three.
Got four?
Three is here.
Try four.
What?
Try four. Got it.
We got
There
it.
we
Got it.
Well, the next, this month, and also be the more. And that's good. Yeah, yeah. No, that's a good thing. Yeah, well, yeah.
How do we make it bigger? Somebody's playing with the keyboard. Now, how do we make it bigger? Yeah,
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
this doesn't work.
Okay, there you go.
There it is. All
And then
right.
you gotta go to full.
Double hit, a double hit.
Well, this is already on tape, eh?
Okay, folks, I was quiet down a little where we were supposed to be starting, but I was told people couldn't hear me before. We're passing out ballots. Again, we initially had Ryan running for president. Mr. Peterson has since rescinded his nomination. He's still in the ballot because they were printed out back when they got emailed. So you can check the boxes. You can vote for all of them, none of them, some of them, whatever strikes your fancy. And I need them all back to me at the start of the break so we can tally them all up and bring this thing to conclusion. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you know.
One person.
It has to be, it has to be done. Or you make it check.
You just tried to vote twice. Tried to vote twice.
Okay, we'll get started then. Welcome to the November meeting for the Wisconsin Woodworkers Guild. Do we have any guests this evening or new members? The first name?
No.
Terry? Oh, Terry? Welcome.
Remember Pat?
Pat, welcome. Anybody else?
Oh, you remember Brian? Brian here.
Brian?
Brian.
Welcome. Okay, we got a couple of announcements. I want to try to get through because I want to get to Jerry tonight.
Okay, quiet down.
We had the pen sale for the first two Saturdays of November down here. We sold $966 worth of pen kits. And we sold the radial arm saw for $50. So we have $1,016 that we deposited. We got some exciting news. We've been applying for the last couple of years for Bader Philanthropics to get a grant. We have been granted a grant for $11,700. And that is thanks to Floyd. Floyd, raise your hand, please. So now I have two more places that give out grants. We'll talk later. The strips, for those of you that weren't able to get the strips Saturday, 2 Saturdays ago, we have some laying back here on the floor. They have the same strips that you can use for the Hipsack Challenge. They are there's 6, 7, and 8 feet long. I would say if you're gonna do the challenge, take the 8-footers. You get more out of those things, but they're in the back.
Maybe for the new members, you could explain what Hipsack Challenge is.
Okay,
Thanks.
the Hipsack Challenge is, we get these boards from Bay Madison, and they are 3/8 of an inch thick, about 1.5 inches wide, and well, let's just say 8 feet long. With that one piece, you can make anything that you want to make. You would bring it to the Christmas party and we would judge it at that point. You can use paint, there they are.
Thanks, Jared. Thank you, man. Okay, man.
You can use paint. Paint, stain, of course, glue, anything like that, but you only can use the strip,
No metal.
no metal. So, and like I say, bring it in, we'll put them on a table, display them, and then everybody that's there gets to vote on them. And then we pick a winner. First place is $30 gift card from upstairs. Second place is a $20 gift card, and third place is a $10 gift card. So if you are interested, take your strip tonight. And you can enter that. The Christmas party. It is at Myers over on the south side. I think it's in the Ripsaw. It's $35 per head. We have to have our number in 10 days prior, 10 to 15. I think we're going to try to get a little more out of it. The party is on December 7th. 5:30 for cocktails, 6:30 is the dinner. If you've never been to one, it's pretty good meal. I think that's also going to be in the Ripsaw. I breezed through that part of it because I've been going for so many years. I know what we're having, so, and it's a good meal. You sit down, they bring it to your table and they just keep bringing whatever you want. So I'm going to say by the middle of the month. Well, you can go back there by Floyd and Greg if you want to sign up tonight. If not, you got to get your checks out to Greg by. Well, yeah, get them out next week or tonight, so that we can give them a count of how many are going to be there. Mark, you wanted to say something?
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. As you know, I'm the education guy. So right now for November, I've only got one in a class, and it's 2 weeks from now. So if 3 more people want to sign up, I'll have the class. If it's only one, I'm sorry, we'll move it to January then. I will get the Ripsaw. What I want to do for next year will be one every other month. You'll be making a board like that with any engraving you want. And then we're also looking for ideas of other things we can make. So if you have some ideas of something you think we'd like to make for education, I don't know, I'm just thinking of like bandsaw boxes or something like that. We could maybe put a class together like that. So we're gonna toy with that for next year. So the other thing is on a personal note, as most of you guys know what I do. If anybody is looking for some cash, I am looking for help. So come see me if that's something you may be interested in. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Wally? Okay. We're gonna have a second scroll saw class down here, and we're gonna be doing Christmas ornaments. Wally's got some examples, so if you want to take a look at them during break, we're gonna try to, get people signed up for it. We're talking about the possibility of one day during the week.
Yeah.
And
Whatever they want, it doesn't make any difference. I'm tired. The problem is that I'm teaching a scroll saw class upstairs on the 14th or 15th. I think it's the 15th. So if anybody's interested, they can sign up upstairs, $55, it's $5 for material fee, and it's an intro class. So anything we wanna know about the scroll saw will be discussed, we'll make a small project. As far as down here goes, you know, I've got a whole bunch of different things, I've got ornaments, I've got word art, got a couple of other different things. It depends on.
My glasses, when you sideways, just tip it up.
Okay, do we have a sign up sheet, Wally?
No, we do not have anything yet.
This way,
Okay,
look
We just
inside,
talked about this.
look inside, see the glass?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
If you are interested though, talk to Wally and see once, we'll get something arranged, something set up. It
Thank
would
you.
be in this month. So that you'll have them, you know, for Christmas if that's what you want. So see Wally during the break. I'm told from our treasurer that the balance in our checking account is $5,060.04. We don't have the check yet from Bader, so it's down a little bit. It'll be up from there. So other than that, I mean, I guess according to our bylaws, we will announce the election at break. Is that right, Floyd? I don't know why we're counting them. It's gonna be the people up there. Yes, sir.
Seeing as nobody is running opposed, can unanimous ballot be cast?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Can a unanimous ballot be cast since no one is running against each other? What's the question?
To my knowledge, I thought it can be that way. But,
Robert's Rules of Order says you can do that. I don't know what your.
But that's true use
That's pretty
now.
much what they're using, is Robert's rules.
I,
That's what
Robert's
meetings.
Rules, I cast a unanimous ballot for the.
I-
slate of people on the ticket here.
I would second that.
I leave it up to the members.
All in favor?
Aye.
Done.
It's done.
Plate is posted, let's make it official.
Yeah.
Okay, so be it, it's Davidson County.
Yeah, okay.
Be careful what you wish for, you may get it.
So I'll be president for another year. Dave Lane, Dave, raise your hand.
Yeah.
Dave is gonna be vice president. Secretary is still gonna be Floyd. Treasurer is still gonna be Greg.
We're gonna put faces into the group stuff, so smile. He's also going to.
Membership director is
Wanted?
John.
Okay, pick my numbers.
John's gonna be our membership director now. We still have program director going. I had a nominee for it. But at our board meeting on Saturday, he got shot down, which I don't quite understand, but we haven't had a program director in 5 years. But that I will go over at the February meeting. So other than that, I guess, yes, sir.
Can I make one quick library announcement?
Library.
Library announcement. Tom Hipsack, besides having the Hipsack Challenge named after him, he came up with a great idea on the magazine. He said, why don't you take some and take them to your barber? Your barber, you can put on the barber's, every barber's got a magazine, right?
Yeah,
So there you go. So please take a couple hundred.
I don't get my hair cut that often.
Got mine done, so it's gonna be a while.
I go twice a week.
They charge you finder's fee.
you gotta quit going to that blind guy though.
Yeah.
Any other announcements, anything that somebody wants me to cover?
Can you see me?
Great.
Don't have my address. I'm usually listed officers on by the rip stop, but I did rip off a few pieces of paper here to want to take one. But like you said, you have to this mail by Monday.
Yeah.
Okay,
Good. I got one thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Barb said she-
We did this last year, Black Friday, obviously, there's lots of sales going on, so we perhaps got stuff to draw people in. And, we set up a table outside, you know, and said, hey, come on in, check out the guild. We're looking for volunteers on Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. So, take people upstairs, down here, and so if you're not outside all the time, you can swap with the people down here who are giving tours, and it's gonna be kind of a membership drive. So we're trying to get members, trying to
23rd.
promote. So.
I know that it's my birthday.
All know, we're gonna sign up for the Christmas party. You know, if you can spend a couple hours at a crack, start filling the morning slots first. You know, if it gets to be like three in the afternoon and nobody signs up, it's not the end of the world with all the traffic. So pretty much from like 9 to 1 o'clock for the busy hours. But we need people to do it. If we get lots of people finding out, I will go to Rockford and see if we can set up a second one out of Rockford as well.
Instead of doing-
But,
Get people.
so if you see somebody in the spot, don't be shy, put your name, you know, you put your name next to somebody else, and if you get, you know, like 4 people for a slot all the way down. I'll call, Robert said they would let us, I haven't cleared it with them specifically that day. But if you sign, if you volunteer, I'll make the overture and see if we can get members from both places. Question, Tammy?
Is there a reason we have to sit outside? That's kind of brutal.
There's shop space.
You're a good worker. No, a lot of what I ended up doing last year, because Ron stayed out there where it was warm, because they kept flooding it with people wanting tours, and he didn't object. I kind of moved into the store, and people would walk in and go, hey, interested in Brian, we got a shop downstairs, would you like to join the guild? And I just kind of pushed them down, but we may still have a table set up outside with some sign going, see, tall ugly guy inside, you know, or something. But, you know, we'll, you know, it might be 80 degrees in the sunny, we'll be out there watching chairs, flowers, so.
Might be.
Yeah, he's might fly somewhere, but, we'll find some way to make it work. You don't have to come bundle up like that, look at the door.
Jeff, can you tell us, I'm sorry, I missed the date.
Black Friday, day after Thanksgiving.
No, Dan, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
24th.
So, I haven't seen yet what, I think we've got a big promo that day is gonna be those Oliver planers with the spiral cutter heads. I think, I don't know if that's a promo now or if that's a Black Friday special, we got a pal of them up there. So we had really good traffic last year on Black Friday.
yeah, we did.
So it's a shame if we don't capitalize on it, for 2 hours of time, and if you're here, you're not shopping somewhere else spending money, and we all know that we've got everything we have here, so you won't waste any money shopping here.
Yeah, great.
Can you what? Yeah, Tammy, if you want to do tours, I'll go back upstairs. I mean, I'll be dressed in orange, but it's the warmest thing I have.
So that's it, sign the sheet is there, you know, I need to see that kind of by the end of the day, I'm gonna take a look and we'll make the decision of do we go forward with it or not, based on volunteers, at the end of the meeting. All right, with that, I am done.
One thing I forgot about, we got a basket up here that we made for Chris and Dina. There were 2 of them made. We gave one to Bay Madison. And it's just a way of saying thank you. They give us all these wood strips that, you know, we've got floating around and that we use. That is made out of all wood that was found in dumpsters or out of the strips. So I'm gonna go up and get them a little bit later, maybe during break, and then we'll give that to them, as I say, just as a thank you. So take a look at it and see what you can do with those strips. The sides are made out of second batch that they're waiting for me to pick up. It's about 7 inch thick, 1.5 inches wide by 7 or 8 feet long. So we will announce that if anybody is interested in those. Okay? I think we're good. Dennis?
We doing the woodworker show this year?
Probably. I have not heard anything about it. I know Justin, I don't think Justin signed up last year. He was the one that was handling it. And I think Tom Masnica,
Yeah,
was
he
it
took, he
second
took
chair
over,
on that,
yeah.
but that little rascal's in Puerto Vallarta or something like.
No, no, he's in
No.
Portugal and
Portugal.
Spain.
Portugal, Spain, that's what it is. So, I'll ask him.
Because I think it's in, it's in February this year.
Yeah,
February 16th, so we don't have to jump
I would say yes, but
on. Okay,
I'll send an email out to Tom
okay.
and see. I know, the Nye Show, we also do the Nye Show. So I haven't even heard from them. Wally?
I took that, that cutting board class yesterday with Alex Snodgrass,
Yeah,
and according to him, nothing has been planned. The guy doesn't have any vendors, and there's a possibility that it might not even take place any longer.
oh, wow, okay, that's a shame. That's a nice show.
Yeah, would work for sure.
Okay,
All the more reason we need to make Black Friday count.
all right, Jerry, I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Yeah. most of them are across.
Turn it off, David.
I can turn it. I can turn it on. Right, you all right. Don't do that.
Hey, Ron, did you ask for any new members or visitors today? Okay. Run around.
He's on it.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much for allowing me to stand up here again for you, in front of you. Before I get started, I'd like to thank several people in the audience out here. I apologize if I don't know your names, but you've been a tremendous help to Dave and I in setting up the computers when we get jammed up on something. And setting up my PowerPoint, which worked perfectly last night, it didn't today. Okay, and the person who painted the stand for the drill, that is beautiful. I like it very much. Thank you. Okay. All righty. I've got about 160 slides here. All right, and I've wasted, we went some of my time, I'm sure. But anyway, we'll see how far we can get. All right, but I'm pretty sure we're going to have a second presentation on the second half. All right, because you don't see any sales. All right, okay.
Oh, I got some bags here.
So that's going to be a big part of it. And before you ask how much time did it take so far, I started this last March is when I started. All right, and I put at least an hour in almost every day in the shop, working on it or researching. All right, so I don't know the exact number of hours, but that's how long I've been on it, working so far. All right, and okay, this is where it all started, right there. So you got that particular author right there. He has 4 books out on 4 different ships that he makes. And I bought that book, believe it or not, about 20 plus years ago. All right, and I went out and bought the plank of wood that he said you need to build it, which was like a 1 by 6 by 8 foot. Okay, and I said, well, that's going to take at least 2 strips from Bay Madison. So that's what I use. I use 2 strips, but actually about 2.5 strips from the Bay Madison things. Right? And I did it because I was going to enter this in the Hipside Challenge. Because I thought for sure last year we had 1 strip, we're going to at least go to 2 strips this year, right? No, they left it at 1 strip. All right, so I got to come up with something else between now and the party. Okay. Okay, so this is where it all started, right here. And then this is what the book looks like inside. All right, they just have pictures with little descriptions of what he's doing. All right, very few dimensions, very little information about exactly what it all is. You have to look at the picture and interpret it yourself. Okay, so. And believe it or not, most of this ship was built from that book, right? And I'll show you later on in the slides that I wanted to do a little more detail, get a little more accuracy to it, all right? And that's where everything started to go longer. Okay. All right, this is where I started, was to lay out the keel drawing. to see how big I wanted to make it. The book uses 1/2 inch to the foot scale, right? And I laid that out, and that came out to be about this big. And I thought, that's too big. For one thing, I don't have any room to put it, all right, once it's built, all right? And I just didn't want to go that big, and I thought I was going to have to go with 3 strips, all right? All right, so then I cut it back down to 1/4 to the foot, and that's what the top drawing is, I believe. And then I said, that's too small, because I know I want to do some detail to it, you know, so then I went up to 3/8 to the foot, so that's what this is. So 3/8 of an inch equals a foot, or a 32nd equals an inch, all right? So the set of plans that are over here is 3/8 of the foot. Okay, now I'll get to those in a second. Yeah, all right. So what I did is I took the Bay Madison strips and I cut them up and took 18-inch lengths, plus what was left over at the end. Sometimes a foot, sometimes a little less. Right? So that, and then I started to resaw them to the thicknesses that I needed to build the structure. All right. Okay. And that run through my sander, clean them up a little bit. Okay. This is my table saw sitting on top of my table saw. Okay. I've got a big 10-inch sitting underneath it. This one right here is a 4-inch table saw. Okay. And that's what I use mostly for all of my hobby stuff. Okay.
Jerry, can you mention the brand name of that 4-inch?
I believe it's a Dremel. I believe it's a Dremel. Yes. Yeah. Right. So here's the different slabs of wood. You can see the different size strips all the way through here, and I bundled them if they're all the same. Okay, so like in the planking on the bottom, the decking, stuff like that. So I bundled those together so I wouldn't get them all mixed up. And and the thicker ones for other different parts. And here's 2 on the far right, and 2 that I haven't used for anything yet. Okay. Did I ever throw anything away? These are 2 little containers that have flat stock from where I've got and little bitty pieces. And I go through there quite often looking for smaller pieces of the right size. And this little yellow thing down at the bottom there, that was my gauge for setting up my bandsaw for the resawing, to make sure I got the 70 thousandths that I needed or the 120 thousandths that I needed for the various thicknesses.
Gary, what kind of blade did you have in that saw?
I have the
Bandsaw.
The Wolverine is the yellow package upstairs.
Right.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I love those blades.
But
Right.
how many teeth?
I think it's 14.
Okay.
Yeah, 14. Yeah. Right. No, it's less than that. I don't know. I don't know.
10.
10 could be. Yeah.
Maybe.
I love those saw blades. Right. Because I've got an old Sears bandsaw. Okay. And it cuts a perfect straight line without any curve, wobble. I don't have to joggle it around and try to stay on the line. It just goes right through perfect every time. So when I cut those 18-inch boards to 70 thousandths, it's 70 thousandths at the beginning, 70 thousandths in the middle, and 71 thousandths at the end. I don't know what happened. Okay, so now I'm starting to build the keelson. The keelson is the main bottom body of the ship. Everything builds up off of that. Right? So you'll see a lot of funny ways of clamping and holding stuff that I do to get things glued.
Jerry? Under the keelson, does it have the false keel? They used to put that on some of the ships.
Yeah, no. No, yeah, not this one. This is the keelson, and the actual keel is inside. Okay. All right, now this is the keelson after it's been glued together. All right, I've got a couple other pieces added onto here. But what I'm doing now is trying to get a fair curve. Not hard to see, but most of the bottom is straight and she curves up like this. Okay, so I was trying to get a fair curve there. And what you do is you see that board that's kind of squished off to the end there. That's called a batten. All right, and you put that on there where you got your marks at the beginning and the end, clamp it in place, and that creates your fair curve for you. And you just mark the line. It works for me. Okay. And then, there's a little miter saw and a miter box I got from upstairs. I used the Dremel for many, many years, but it's smaller and the saws don't last as long. They get dull real fast. This one, it works great. So what I'm doing here is now sawing the transom at the right angle off of the keelson, and this little piece added to that is called the knee to strengthen that into the ship. All right, now we're starting to build up. Okay, you can see it getting a little bigger here. All right, so we've got the this is called the stem knee here. This is the no, this is the back of the ship, the transom. This is the stem knee right in here. This is the stem liner, and this is what's called a strong back.
I'm sorry, can you point, can you show it on the? We're not able to.
I could. All right, hold on a second here. Let me see.
Sticks back there.
Next gate.
There it is.
No, I was looking for the pointer.
It's there.
Your tabletop.
Oh, you can see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, I didn't know you could see that up there. Okay.
Okay.
Now you can, yeah, there it is. Oh, very good. If we can see that, we'll use that. Okay. Okay, this piece right here, that's the front of the boat. This stern, that's the stem knee. Okay, that's where all the planking comes to the plane at the beginning up here. All right. And this is the stem knee right here. I'm sorry. This is the stem liner. And then this is what's called the strong back. All right. That's what gives strength to the ship. All right. All right. Now these came out of the book that I first showed you. This is a picture of the strong back and transom templates. This is how I got the dimensions for that. What I do is I just copy it out of the book. Okay, measure it and then figure out how long I want it, come up with a calculation, recopy it and and then change the scale up or down on the printer in order to get what I wanted, and then transfer that over. Right? And that's how the entire transom was made the same way. Okay. And here's the transom on the back. Right. This is the transom back here. Okay. And you can see these two little dots right in the middle of it, right in here. All right. Those are toothpicks. Okay. So you drill a hole and you pound a toothpick in with some glue on it, and that helps hold it together. Okay. Okay, now here I'm getting ready to cut a strip, cutting a side plank, one of the side planks here. Now, this is a piece of, I think the side planks are about there's 90,000 thick, right? And it's 18 inches long here, and I got my ruler's about 24 inches here. And I laid it down on here and I cut it with a knife. All right, X-Acto knife. All right. Okay. I did it that way instead of running it through my little table saw, because its table's only about this big, and that piece is sticking out like this. And it gets out of hand sometimes, and you get a lot of wobble on one edge. It doesn't come out real straight on big pieces like that. I can get a better cut like this. What you're looking at here, this is my router bit cabinet that I got from Ace when they were getting rid of Porter router bits. This is a beautiful steel cabinet, right? And it weighs a ton. But anyway, what I did is I opened up the drawer so I could put clamps underneath it. Right? It has a steel top, but I put a piece of 3/4 inch oak plywood on top of it, oak veneer plywood, so I'd have a nice flat surface to work on. Right now we're putting the first side plank on. Okay, and you see some clamping down and through here. All right. Now the cool thing here is this thing right between these two clamps. Okay, that's another toothpick sticking in there. All right, now that's my pivot point. All right, because I have to line this plank up on the stem up here and on the transom to get them in the right spot. Okay? Because this plank has to lay right against that strong back edge. Otherwise, you have a big gap in there and it won't get strong. All right, so it has to lay against it. That's actually going through the side plank and the strong back. to try to hold it down in there. Okay. And then I've got marks up here in the front where that plank is supposed to lay, and I just keep maneuvering it till I get it in there. This little piece of wood right here, I'll tell you about that right now. All right, now this is the second side. All right, so I got the first one. Now, you notice this has got a lot more clamping to it. All right, second side always seems to be harder to put on. All right, so you got all this clamping up in here. And these weren't, I didn't wet these pieces before I bent them. All right, so I'm talking about 90 thousandths and trying to, and this is, it's soft maple, all right, but it's still got a lot of strength to it. Right? So I needed more clamps to get this one down. And what I did in here, this area here, there's that piece of wood we just talked about, is I needed to get these curves as close as I could to each other. All right. So I used that piece of wood vertically in there, gauged that from the first side, and I moved it to the second side to attempt to get the same curve. Right? I was pretty close. It's not perfect, but I was close. Okay. And then there was dowels put in the back here and up in the front here to hold it together. Also,
Jerry, I'm gonna interrupt you. So you're using that board like kind of like a storyboard, and you could move it along and get the measurements from one side to the other based on that?
well, I got the measurements from side to side just because I knew where they were at. I could put a square or some other device on it, okay, where I wanted it to be. And so that was good. What it was just moving the board around to get them there. Because when you move it one, because it's not only is it curved, but it's got a little twist to it. So you got to maneuver it to get it in there. All right. Now what we're doing here is this is called the chine log, right? And it's going down on the bottom of the ship here. All right. So that's glued inside on the bottom, and it's going to be glued all the way up through here. Another piece, same thing on this side. And you can see this one's in here already. That little upset right there. Okay, so that's in there already. All right. Now I'm cutting what's called the frame stock. Right, and this is my miter saw block again. And I set up a stop block down here, and I put them in and start cutting multiple pieces off. Started cutting multiple pieces off here. Right, now there they are. That's the frame stock. Okay, so that's going down on the chine log right here. All right, and here's the frame stock going through here, right, on both sides. Right, and if you'll notice, these little pieces right up in here, those are called knight heads. That gives that stem some more strength up in there. All right, and the in a minute, I'll get to it in a minute. This also has the second top plank. This one's only got the first plank on it. This one's holding up the second top plank on it now. All right, and it doesn't go all the way to the back. It's only like half of it. All right, it's from up here all the way back to here. All right, so to get that curve, I almost had to put, because I had no way of doing it. I had to use all those clamps to hold it to the frames. Okay. All right. Now, after you get it all put together, now you have to draw this line. It's a little hard to see as a pencil line here. All right. But again, I put what the thing we call a batten, a piece of wood to lay it down and it bends the way you want it to. All right. So I used one of those, clamped it on both ends, and I drew that line. That's the actual shape of this side right here. That's that side. Okay. Yeah, that's sitting in there kind of precariously in that metal vise, big metal vise there, right? Okay. And I'm cutting it with that kind of saw, all right? And hoping it doesn't break. And then, okay, we can relax now. They both came off. All right. All right. Now we're getting ready to put in the other supporting parts here. You'll see down here's a piece right in here, right? That's the deck beam shelf. That's what all the deck beams are going to set on against the sides. Okay, so that was clamped in there, just like all the other ones that you saw going around there. Okay, these here, they call chunks, all right? What I'm showing you here is fairly accurate to the building of the real ship. All of these parts that we're talking about and how it was done. And there were no plans for anybody to build these ships on the East Coast for dredging for oysters at the time. They just knew what they wanted, and they knew what they wanted to build, and they just started building it. They go cut down the trees, cut the lumber, and build it. And there was many different changes and different styles, but they all looked very, very similar. Okay. And then what's called the keels and center line up here, right? Right. Now what I'm doing is I'm taking a furniture scraper, right? And now what I have to do is I have to taper from the center line down to here, right? And make that a nice smooth curve all the way down through there, taper, because the planks have to sit on the bottom planks now. We're going to sit on that. Okay. And then I sanded it. This is a nice little sanding stick.
Yeah.
Right? Nice piece of aluminum. That's guys building model airplanes.
Yeah,
flying
I've
control
got-
line airplanes.
I got about 3 or 4 of those,
There you
yeah,
go. See?
different
Those
sizes.
are really nice. Right? This one's about, I think it's about 12 inches long and about 2 inches wide.
Mhm.
You know, and you put that sticky sandpaper, it's got glue on the backside on it. Okay. All right, now I'm getting ready to cut the planks. Now, I didn't have to have a stop on this one. I just marked them across the board because they're going to be longer than what they need to be. And they're going to be cut off later, so I can just cut them off. Right? This is my little chop saw. I thought I'd bring it in case you've never seen a little chop saw before. Right? That works really nice. The blade on there cuts metal or wood. And it comes with different kinds of blades too.
What brand is that?
That's Harbor Freight brand. Yeah, you can see them in the catalogs. They come in different colors, but they all look the same. And prices vary about $40 between them.
For the different colors.
Yeah. Right. So now I'm putting the planks in the bottom. Right. And so the planks are going, it's upside down, and the planks are going on the bottom. Right? And they're going from the center out to the sides. That's why we needed that bevel in there, so I can get these to lay flat. All right. Okay. Yes. Yep. And 30s. So now I planks all the way up to the chunks. All right. Now you notice they're sticking out all over the place, right? Well, then I have to cut those down with that nice little saw again. That's my little Dremel saw there. All right. All right. Now I took sanding and carving board and this Dremel sanding drums and whatever I could use or need. Just try shaping that hole now. Okay, and getting it nice and smooth. And getting these chunks all carved to the right profile. Now, this is a picture out of the book because I forgot to take a picture of this. Right? Well, those are nails because it's out of the book. He used nails because he used pine. Yeah, he used pine to build his. Okay, and it was a little bigger. Right? Yeah, so he used these little brad nails. Right? But you imagine sitting there and trying to nail these little, you know, no. So I'd rather drill a hole and put a toothpick in it.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Right. It's a side note on some of my other ships I've built. Well, I didn't do it in here, but when I laid the planking on the deck, I actually laid the planking to a required pattern of the ship. Okay, either as a 3, 4, or 5 type stagger. Okay. And they were perfectly with, and I had several different methods of simulating the caulking between, okay, all right, and then I also put tree nails in every one of them where the beams were at, right? And one of the ways for me to relax at the time was take a piece of veneer and cut it into 1/20th strips, and then run it through a die die block that's got holes in it and pull it through there to make these tree nails to the diameter I want out of the different woods I wanted to use. And that's how I relax. So this is shaping those pieces we just put in there. All right, now we're at the back of by the transom. That's the stem post. That's what holds the rudder. Now we're talking about the keel. All right, now the keel is further underneath the ship, and this is, well, you can see it this way, all right? Yeah, but you can see the different curves I got in here. I have to match. This is the piece I want right here. Okay, it's this part right in here. Okay. Right. And what I did was, they say you clamp a board onto the stem post here, and you set the board down, and then you get your dimension right here that you want. You find the dimension, and you set up your compass, and you run the point along the hull bottom here, and the pencil follows it and gives you that curve. All right. Alrighty. So then, when I cut it out, I glue it in, right? And that's how that works. Okay. And now it's back here. Now I can draw the angular line that I need back by the transom part there. Okay. All right, now, this being a sailboat, they usually have a centerboard that comes down for stability. Right? I didn't do anything with the centerboard itself. I didn't put it in, but I built a slot for it in here. Okay, because that was visible from the outside. Okay, so that's what this is. It's just building the frame for the centerboard here. And I had to mark that curve the same way. All right. All right, now here they're talking about a shoe. This particular part, a couple of slides back, was the shoe. And this piece right here, it sits on the top here. It just kind of holds everything together. And that's called the shoe also. Okay. And now here I drilled 2 holes in here at the end of those where the centerboard is supposed to go. Okay. And this is where I built the centerboard case here. I didn't do any more detail than just this, but the end piece here and this piece you can't see down here is another end piece. Those go into those 2 holes. All right, so that's what locates that. Okay. Now there's several different things here. Here's these 2 boards running all the way down through here on the sides here. Those are called the sister keelsons. And then these boards right in here are called ceiling pieces because the flooring for the hold is going to go on top of those, just like your floor joist, sort of, okay? And then here's 2 deck beams sitting in here now, okay? But what I did is I took out the strong bag, so I wanted to go in and put something in it to help keep it stable, right? So those 2 beams are in there for that purpose. Okay, now here's the forward bulkhead. It was planked, okay? Now, again, those are all individual boards. Let's glued in one at a time. And here's the rear one, okay? Now this is where the main cabin is supposed to be, back in here. And up here, this is where the main hold is at, right in this area. And now here I put flooring in the main hole. And those are individual boards down in there. It's easier to work with individual boards than you try to cut a full piece to sit down in there. Okay? Once you get it down, all the rest of it, you're only working with 1 board you have to deal with then. Okay, now I painted the inside red. So the only thing that's painted, the whole thing, is the inside is painted red. Yes, okay. And that's the color they painted, the whole, it's red. Okay. I guess so you couldn't see all the blood from the fish and the oyster, whatever, you know. And then here's the main cabin area back here. And these pieces here, these long pieces right in here, those are called carlins. Okay, and there's a couple more beams are added. I'm sorry, no, no motor, no. I think some of the newer ones that have motors in them, yeah. Additional, now some of my additional tools that I use, this is my little Dremel with the sanding disc on it. That really came in handy to get rid of a lot of that over wood, you know, that it's too long, I had to cut down. Yeah, that came in real handy. Very carefully holding in this hand, trying to sand it. And then I had to stop and do this, you know. Right. Now here's some of the drill bits. These are carbide drill bits, right? And they're in the number drill bits and some metric in there, right? And I brought the box up here in case you want to look at it. I bought this box probably 30 years ago also, and you see some missing. They break real easy. Right? Yes, very easy. So, and just recently I bought about 3 more different sets through Amazon. But it looks just like that. No, the Harper Freight doesn't have it, I don't think. I've checked, actually. Right? So these are, and you can see how small they are, you know. Yeah. And I have other sets of drill bits, like they go all the way up to number 80. And they're very, very easy to break. It's unbelievable. I use this 4-inch disc sander on here quite often. On this one, I use this quite often to make different shapes. Here's some other hand tools. I mean, this is just a fraction of the tools that I use. No, they're just, no, they're just, they have an 1/8-inch shank. That's why, yeah. Here's another, I use this quite often. This magnifying glass here, I use that quite often on it. Right? I use this all the time in measuring thicknesses of the wood or scribing metal or whatever I need to do. Right? This is a new little grinder that I got here. It's very hard to see, but there is a drill bit in the end of that thing. Yeah. So.
Was that after you got back from the dentist?
Yeah. Right. All right, now we're getting a little bit further along here. I've got all of the beams in now. All the carlins are in, and this point up in here, this is where the mast goes, up in here. Right. And now where you have to go down inside the ship, those little boxes around it called coamings. And this is how I built these. I'd cut those 4 pieces to size and build them with this little steel right angle here. Right, to keep them square. Good idea. And you see, there's one here that gets down into the main hole. This one here is for the main hatchway. This one here is for the front hole. Now, that could be used for storage, or it could be used for a bunking area. It was used both ways on some of the ships. Yeah. Now planking, right? Now these individually laid planks. Okay. Okay. You'll see some unique clamping features here. Okay. Now these aren't tree nailed in any way, they're just glued, laid down and glued. Okay. And they're cut extremely longer than what I need. Okay.
Jerry?
Yes.
Could you explain tree nail?
Tree nails, I'm sorry. A tree nail is a nail made out of wood. Right? When you saw me use that toothpick, that would be like a tree nail. Right? On a real ship, that's what they use to hold the planks down. Right? In the old days. Some more planking. My big rubber bands going around here. I even had to use a little clip in here, a little clamp in here to give it some more strength, and a little board up here to give it some more strength. Here I got it going all the way down, wrapped around my vice handle to give me some more strength on it. Jeez. And now all the planks are on. Okay. Okay. Now here's what I had to do. Now I had to get rid of all the extra wood again, right? So I used that little Dremel sander, disc sander on there, and it just back and forth, knocking those planks off. Right? I got close. I And then I came back with this little palm sander, hand sander. These are nice little guys here. Right. All right, now, okay, now we're putting in what's called the cut water. This thing right up in here is the cut water. All right. And this piece of wood you see sitting in here, that was there to keep it on center and straight. All right. But you ever see me to try to line up by hand and glue that piece in, it would never work. All right. Yeah. This is something I wish I had. I didn't have those particular plans at this time. We're working strictly out of that first book I showed you. Okay. In those plans, they said they wanted scuppers. All right, scuppers are holes in the sides of the deck here to allow water off the deck. All right, they just drain out through those holes. All right, I've got a scupper every 1.5 inches on the deck, all the way down. On those plans, they only show 2 in the middle. I would have preferred that. Okay. All right. So what I've got here is I'm holding both sides together, 2 of them together, so I can line them up. Right? And I've got a little board attached to my little Dremel saw there to go a certain depth. I didn't want to go any deeper than what I wanted to go, right? Because you can go too far real fast. Right? So that's what gave me the depth distance right there. And then I took an X-Acto knife and chipped them out. Because you can see them up here. There's these little notches, these little holes right there. Right. Okay, now we're putting on the log rails. The log rails are on the top here, all the way from here up to here. Okay, so we got again rubber bands and clamps holding it anywhere I can squeeze it to hold something. Right, and keep them in there.
What kind of glue you using, Jerry?
Type Bond Original.
Oh, just regular
Yeah.
wood glue,
Yeah.
okay.
Jerry, for your log rails, how'd you make the stanchions? Toothpicks again, or what did you do for the?
It's coming.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, okay.
Calm down, Earl.
This is just forming the transom area a little bit here. Okay, this is what's called the head rail up here. This is part of it here. Okay, these are the cross beams for that. There's the side beams for that head rail here. Okay. Now this is the dredge rollers here. Yeah, they actually roll. Okay, and these are the supports that are glued into there, right in here. These are supports for those things. Okay. And here's some of what's called the rubbing strikes. That's these 2 more things over here. It's right in here. That's for rubbing up against another ship or the dock or wherever they're going to go. They would actually have, I'm trying to remember what they're called. I think they're called cost boats, something like that. But the oyster boats would stay out in the bay, and these other boats would come up to it, and they would transfer the oysters from this boat to the coast boat. Yeah. Right, and that's how they transported them back in. Okay, and this boat had sails with no motors. But and I don't have any pictures because I haven't done it yet. But it also had what's called a push boat that hangs off the davits back here. Okay, and it pushes. There's a little block back down in here that the stern of the push boat is to help push that boat around when it can't go under sail to maneuver it where it needs to be. So,
those have wood.
yes, yes, they did. Definitely, yes. All right, now. You see anything missing on this picture? The ones we've seen before.
Yeah.
What's missing?
The rollers. The front.
The front, this right here, right? The valve spread area, the cut water, that's missing? Okay. Well. You know, I was holding this in my metal vise, right? And I dropped a piece of something. So I bent down to pick it up and I needed help getting up. So I grabbed the handle of the vise. And I turned it the wrong way. So before I could do anything, went poof, right down on that. All right. And I saw the piece fly. I mean, it was almost the entire nose piece here, went, all right? I saw it fly. I couldn't find it. I looked for hours and couldn't find it. I called my wife down. She looked and couldn't find it. And look how big that piece is. And I don't have that much dirt on my floors, yeah, right? And we couldn't find it. Right? And I didn't want to build it all over again, but I went down the second day. I gotta find this. It's gotta be in this room somewhere, right? All right. There it is. All right. This is a, does that look familiar to it?
Use the
Look
cursor.
to you? Does that look familiar? That's your vacuum.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's your vacuum pump right here. Wait a minute, right there. That's your vacuum pump. All right, okay. So this pump and this shelf is probably, let's say I'm standing at my vise right here, okay? And Don is at vacuum pump. All right. That piece. Probably never again. That piece fell from where I was standing here all the way over into this hole against that corner behind that cabinet.
Oh, my God.
No, I looked there, but I didn't look that far around the corner. And there it was, being right perfectly in that corner, you know? No, I just, that third time I was like, I'm gonna tear this place apart till I find it. Yes, I dropped a lot of pieces. I'm standing at that router table, right, working on pieces, and they always make bing, look down, and you can see it. It fell right there, and you can't find it. You know. Yeah, you should check the bottom of my shoes.
Yeah.
All right, so what's different here now? I got a different holder.
Yeah, you do.
It's not in the place. I bought that sucker probably 30 years ago for other ships. First time I used it. So it's been sitting in that now since I've been working since that time. I haven't taken it out of it except to rotate it. So, but what's nice about that, you can see all of the mechanisms here. I can tilt it this way. I can tilt it this way. Right? And it sits real nice in my wood vise there. So we learn by our mistakes, right? Right. But here's the rudder now. So that rudder is built up with several different pieces in through here. And then these little eye screws here, those are all handmade. All right. Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing purchased on here. It's all handmade.
Wow.
Right.
I can make the little islands.
Little eyelets. I have another vise, all right, it moves this way, and pivots this way. The hole size I wanted is, I believe it's 2-inch diameter hole size. So I put in a drill bit that was 16th, right? All right. So I put a 16th-inch drill bit in there with the smooth end facing out. Take a piece of wire, wrap it around it to get that part of it, take the two ends and then twist them. And a pin vise. Everybody know what a pin vise is? No? Okay. No threads, twisting. Yep, exactly. Here's a pin vise. I got these in different sizes. What it is, it's just a round cylinder with two chucks on each end. There are 4 jaw chucks. All right. So I put the 2 ends of the wire in here. All right. And put the round part I just made in the vise and just start this.
Wow.
Okay. And then twist it. All right. I made a bunch of those. Those are on the ship all over the place. All righty. So there's the rudder, and there's where those little pins went, right in there. All right, and what do we got here? Oh, this is the bowsprit. Okay, this was our cutwater here. This is the bowsprit up here now, and this is the Samson post right there. Okay. Yeah, okay, now we're doing the top rails, the handrails, okay? What I had to do was now, the bottom piece is already in, we had that in there a long time ago, all right? So I took this piece here and I had to put, see if I can see them here. Yeah, see these little silver things right here? Okay, those are actually little brads. I had to drill holes in the deck and put those brads in there so I could make this curve match the bottom end. Okay, so that's what I did there. Then I measured where I wanted the stanchions to go, and I drilled my holes. Okay, now the stanchions are actually the same kind of brad nail, just with heads cut off. Okay, now believe it or not, show you how anal it is. I took my Dremel and I put the brad nail in the Dremel and had a file because I thought the heads were too big in diameter. And I was filing the heads in. The smaller diameter. It was just taking too long. You know, nobody's gonna know. Okay? So most of them are normal size. Okay. All right.
Did you ever get a coffee break?
Me or you?
You.
No.
She didn't call you upstairs, huh?
No. Yeah. Actually, to get ready for this, I was downstairs almost pretty close to 6 hours or more every day for the last 2 weeks. Okay. I was trying to get as far as I got here. I wanted to try to finish it, but there was no way I could. Okay. Anyway, so that's how the rails were made. Right now, the height was already governed by these two pieces on the end here that the top piece is mounted on. I just had to get the nails down as far as I could do. And if you feel it, and on the real ship, they're little, like little knobs on the top of it. Okay, and some actually have metal posts instead of rails like this. And some, instead of the top being wood, it's metal. But whatever they had, however they wanted to build the ship at the time. This particular one used wood with metal stanchions. Right? But you actually feel them a little bit on the top.
Jerry, how big is the real ship?
Yeah. There's about 4 different sizes. Right, and to be honest with you, I don't recall right now. I think if you look at the beginning of the first book I showed, it will give you some history and dimensions on it. Okay.
What time frame is it from?
The late 1800s to the 1900s.
Thank you.
Okay, there are still a couple. There were like 400 of these ships built over a period of time to do oyster stuff, and then they just, stopped doing it, or they took them up to a creek and let them rot, whatever it was. So there's very few of them left. The ones that are left, they refurbished and used them for tour boats type things. Okay.
I think you should go there.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a real one?
No, not one of these I have not. No. Have you ever heard of the Charles W. Morgan? It's in Mystic, Connecticut. It's the oldest surviving wood whale ship. I've been on that ship 5 times. I have about 1,000 pictures. I have the kit, but I haven't built it yet. Okay. Okay, now we're talking about the pin rails at the back. Right now, that was a little different. Same thing, a little bit different. Okay, only because of the way they were, the height, all right, and how they had to drill not only through that one but through that other rail into the floor. So they were all. It was same way. I had to put nails back there to get the curve. Had to lay it down on the top one, drill through all 3 areas, put the brad in there. Okay, and these are all super glued then around the little super glue. I start lifting them up to the right height until I got it up through all of these nails. So that was a lot of fun. Now here's the aft pin rails and stanchions. That was even more fun because if you notice, there's an opening back here. This one's cantilevered. It's sitting out in the open, right? Then this one was all right because it glued between them. But that was a lot of fun trying to put that one together back there and find how to clamp it, how to hold it, how to get it to the right height. All right, now we're working on the deck, the hole for the deck. Here's, these parts come off. Okay. Okay, that's what we're doing now. We're getting ready to build these parts. Okay. What it is, I got the side pieces on here. Okay, and this is all curved to the deck, because the deck has a camber. All right, because you want the water to run to the sides and out those scuppers. Right, there's a camber on everything. All right, so there's a little camber on there. And then you wanted a distance between the two so you can lift them up and get them off. You don't want to squish together real tight or a big hole in there. So that's what these are actually straight pins stuck in here to give me that distance between them. Okay. And then I started putting some of the decking all the way across, both of them. This is one solid piece across here to hold them all together. Okay. And now here's where I'm cutting them in half and cutting them to size with that nice little saw there. And that's how I made it. This was my second set. I had to make two of these. The first set, somehow along the line there, one of the side pieces came up a little bit and it got wobbly and it wouldn't sit flat. All right, so I'm just testing it to make sure they fit. Okay. Now it's the cabin. The cabin's back here. This is where I went a little overboard on the cabin.
Just on the cabin.
Is that a pun?
This is a working stove.
Oh, jeez.
This is the floor, all right, individual pieces, all stained. Okay. These are the sides of the cabin here. Okay, this is all paneled inside. Okay. This is the outside. These are windows in here. You just notice in the windows, there's little bars in there so you don't break the glass walking around or hitting it with a tool or something. Those are in there. All right, now here's the inside, stained mahogany. All right, and there's your stove in there. Okay, so there's the stove. These are either cots or seats. All right, benches. These are like little shelves. There's a set of steps right here. You know, and you wouldn't believe how much time I spent working on that, trying to get those in there. And you know what did I do? I put the roof on, you couldn't see it. I thought for sure that hole back here, the hatchway, would be big enough to have enough light to see in there. You can't see it.
What fuel do you use in the fire?
Real oak. Now I'm putting the roof beams up on here. Okay. And this is the roofing going on. And here's all trimmed. Okay. Now, the center board comes down right on through here. All right. Now, to get the center board down and back up, they have a rope that they have to actually pull it up and down with. Okay. Well, that rope goes down through a hole and it's all attached to the center board. Okay. And the center board is, it's like a big thing like this and like this. And it comes out of just to help
Stabilize.
Thank you, stabilize the ship. Okay. Well, that rope comes up along the little shiv right here. There's a little shiv in here. The shiv's not in there, but the block is. Okay. All right, here, up over this little piece here, and it goes to a block that's supposed to be up here. And that block comes down to another shiv here and back over and down through here. It ties onto that cleat that's back there. Okay. Yeah. You can see that little piece right there. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I had to get that in there. Right. And here's where that other shiv is supposed to be. Right. Like most of the time when we build model ships at this scale, we don't put the actual shiv in the blocks. You just simulate it by putting a hole in there. Because once you get the rope coming through there, you couldn't know if there was a shiv there or not. Yeah, so, and then here's the, oh, where's my mouse at? Yeah, here's the cleat on here. Okay, so that's gotta untie that, and that's what they use to. It works, and I have to think about it several times. Yeah.
If you're gonna wanna put line on there, you can actually use dental floss.
Yes, yes, we could, yeah. I have a toolbox, a tackle box, actually about this big, about this deep like that, full of different sizes of wires and threads, and ropes and yarn, wherever I can need. On one of my ships several years ago, I actually made rope. I twisted the rope myself by making a rope walk. Wheel box, that's this thing back here. Now, I showed you that the last time we were here, right? I won't go show you again. No. All right, this is what the wheel box looks like. There's the inside of the wheel box. Okay? It works. Right? But when you turn this wheel right here, those little silver gold things coming out are going to turn that rudder when I get it hooked up to the rudder. I don't have all the parts in the rudder yet. Okay. But so, and you can see how small it is. It's a little bit bigger on the screen. Okay, this is how I made it. That mechanism inside. These are the support blocks. Here, let's go see if I can go back. No, I want to go back. I won't go back. Here we go. Here we go. Here. These are the support blocks right here, one here and one back here. Okay, and then these are the push blocks here. And these screws are 440 bolts. Okay, that I cut the head off. Okay, and these here are plastic gears. Okay. I didn't make those are just plastic gears. I didn't make any of the gears. Yeah. Okay. I know you wanted me to, Al. I know. Yeah. All right. So this is the CNC drawing for the support blocks. Okay. There are the tools I use. This is like a center drill in order to get the holes properly spaced. This is one of the small drills for these small holes here. This is a drill bit for the bigger holes, and this is an 1/8-inch router bit to cut it out. Okay. And there's finished parts. Okay, now the push blocks, and they right along those 440 threads are made out of aluminum. First time I cut aluminum on my CNC machine. All right, but this is the drawing. You see how some of the sizes of the holes in here. Okay, and there's the two parts are. Right now you can see it. My spoil board normally isn't that dirty. Okay. But it's that dirty because I had to use WD-40 for lubricant. All right. So I was standing there spraying the heck out of it. Because the first time I went into that aluminum, started cutting, I broke the bit just like that. And when I took the bit out and looked at it, it's all jammed up with aluminum. And my can of WD-40 was sitting right here. I forgot to pick it up. So those pieces are there. These things on the sides of it here are called tabs. That's what you have to hold the pieces in with. If you cut it all the way, you want to cut them all the way out, you have to have a tab. Otherwise, the piece will move on you. So let's see. All right. So the nose have to be cut off and filed down then later. Right. And here I'm testing the hole, the threaded hole, just with the bolt to make sure that works fine. I didn't need that big piece of aluminum to make those two parts, but I couldn't get a smaller piece anywhere. That came from Amazon also. Here's a collection of small gears. I collect gears from clocks and other mechanisms that you tear apart, right? These were the gears I was originally going to use, was these small ones right down here, okay? But if you notice a little bit, they're a little bit different in diameter, and there's different teeth count on them. I didn't think that would really work. I didn't want them to jam up someplace in there. And I'm pretty sure something would have happened. All right.
Hey,
So
hey, Chair, we'll take a break.
a break.
It's 8 o'clock.
So
8 o'clock.
where did I go? My favorite brand, Amazon. Right. There we go. All right. Okay. For $4, I got a bag of 50 gears. All right. I took one gear out and cut it in half. Anybody need any gears? Yeah. I think I brought them also. just in case. Now, this is the 3D model of the wheels. All right. CNC, yeah, yeah. I drew that on Fusion 360, AutoCAD's Fusion 360. Okay, so I drew that on, it's the same on both sides. Right, so I just had to flip it over to the second side. Here's the tools I used there. Here it is in a piece of aluminum. Again, I got brave. I'm gonna do it in aluminum. Okay. If you notice these parts right here, the spokes, that spoke is actually 15 thousandths diameter.
God.
You know, it actually machined it and worked out. All right, it came out perfect. Okay. The first try, I couldn't believe it. Yeah. So here's the aluminum one here. See, on the real ships, they were actually made out of iron. That's why I wanted to use metal. All right, but I wasn't brave enough to try it yet. All right, so I went and I tried to make one out of wood here. All right, so this one is these two hubs, the outside hub and the center hub was made on the CNC machine, and then I put it up on a vertical stand and drilled the holes for the spokes. Put the spokes on. Then I turned these little handles and glued those on. But there's such small surface there. Every time I touched it, the handle would fall off. Super glue wouldn't hold it. Yeah, so, but even on this, you can see the tabs. Here's a tab here, tab over here. I had to cut those off with a little saw and then file them down. Great.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. All righty.
Hang on, 527.
You're Fred? Uh-huh. You're the one that's joining the tool group?
Right.
Okay, I'm Dave on the.
Oh, nice, great. Yeah.
Coming tomorrow morning?
Yeah.
Okay, we got,
Well, we got a meeting tomorrow
think
morning.
some guys want to do the door prize first.
That's
So
this
that'll be the
week
red
sometime.
tickets. If you do win, where's Jeff? Jeff, are we still writing the names down? Do we say we have to do that? For door prize and raffle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see over my slide or so I mean, if you win some raffle or
What time is that meeting?
Told you, man.
Yeah, if you wouldn't go over by
I-
Floyd
I
over
can't
there,
hear very
write your
well.
name on the list. So that
I
we
gotta
can get you
double
the
check
rips
with
off.
Ron after a while.
So,
Yeah.
okay, we're gonna do the red tickets. First one is, last three numbers, 269.
How about that?
Great, wow. Well, here, you can take this and then go over and sign that.
All right.
Got a lot of them tonight. Second one is 284. What's the first? There you go, John. Thank you. The third one is 260.
Come on,
Got a feeling that's Mark.
59.
Wow.
Yeah.
Always. 247. 247. Oh, that's me. 294. 294. That is one that Don Doss gave me. So what I'm gonna do is we'll donate that to the shop. Jeff? Okay. So close. Okay, now let's go to the raffle. If you are a winner, please go over, pick the gift and sign the sheet, but get the gift first. First one, last three numbers, 596. 596. 676. 676. No 676. Going once. Going twice. 676. That works. Gone. 639. Yeah, 676. Okay. 639. Six, seven, seven. 677. Okay. 509. 509. Is that you, Ron?
Yeah, 509.
All right. Mark, how many gifts do we have left back there? 5? Okay. Well, 4 after Ron's done. Oh, that is? Okay. 518. 518. 711. 711.
Ron, say something. Here, whatever you want.
Oh, in the back. We'll let them catch up for a minute. Four left, Mark? 3, okay. 695. 6, okay, we got it. 648. 648. Larry? And one more. 563. 563. And we're done, Mark? Okay. Larry, well, in between the show and tell, how do we do on the ornaments? We have interest? 2 people. Okay. 3. Okay. Any idea on a date? Oh, okay, you want to. All right, Saturday or during the week? Yeah. Okay. 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 So we'll check with Chris to see. Okay. All right. One other thing that I forgot to mention is at the the Christmas party, for those of you who are interested, a lot of people will bring gifts. We set them on the bar. And then you get a number, and after the dinner, we call the numbers out, just kind of the same thing we do here at the raffle. And then you go up and you just pick a gift off the bar.
Bring it back.
Pardon?
You bring it back.
You don't have to. I mean, if you want it to be a surprise, you can. And you don't have to bring something, but because a lot of people bring 2, 3, 4 items at times. So we'll go through to try to, depending on the gifts. If we have less gifts, not everybody is going to get one. If we have a lot more gifts, then we call the numbers a second time. So, but I forgot to mention that. So if you want to bring something, you can bring something. Tell you what, Jerry, I'm going to let you finish up. I'm going to go upstairs and see if Chris and Dina might be available, and then we'll give them their gift. Oh, wait a minute. We got show and tell. Okay. Okay, can someone start it off, and then if we can get the other people on deck?
Okay. I buy these lines at Kettle Moraine hardwood. Box of 12 of these are about $40. This is cherry. I turn them down the round and measure out this. Cover, body, select. I could make more of the rounds than use the whole time. Anyway, my wife and I are driving to California. My friend on the way, so I'm making boxes like just give us gifts as we go along. So, and this one was made today. And when Jerry was talking about losing that piece, Al and I make these illusionist artists, and I think some of you know what they are. The first time we made them, we didn't make them out, we just made them out of, here, I'll show you mine quick. This is an illusionist heart. It's a pendant. Now it's a heart. My wife and my picture is in there. And our children's pictures are in there. And when we were making the first ones, I had to talk to Al. I met Al in 2014, in July of 2014. By October, I finally talked him into setting up to make some more of these because he only had one. And we were sitting there making the first ones. We made 6 by Christmas time. They're kind of difficult to do. Anyway, the first ones we did were made out of just simple maple blanks that you buy at the craft store. We didn't make them out of different types of woods like this. And I was using red nail polish on the outside to color it. And I reached down to pick something up, and the whole heart went flying into the air. And we looked and looked and looked for that part. And doing these things like this, you got a lot of hours in it. So Al says, when you find that part, you let me know where it is. So the next morning, I go into my closet to put on my sweatshirt. So next time, Gary, we're behind you. Oh, yeah, it's just a. So this was nothing I built, but I like to go to flea markets. And it's an X-Acto, and I always, whenever I see boxes, I always pick them up because there's kind of cool stuff in there. And I picked up, I said to the guy, it was October in Grafton, the last flea market of the year, so everything's pretty cheap. And I said, how much for the box? He goes, what do you give me? He said, I said, $1. I open it up, and it has all the blades in it. Yeah. Just move in there. So for $1, it has a brand new thing of blades. And what I wanted to show you, this is kind of my favorite. I really like the size of it. And it's gonna come, doesn't roll, but it's yeah. So I go to flea markets. I probably go to 20 a year. And I'll come home and my wife goes, where do you get it? So they got brothers. I'm just gonna come. So, but sometimes I get this, I got a test indicator a few years ago, probably about 5, 6 years ago. Grand Rapids test indicator, they go for $300, I got it for $20. Wow. And I know tools, I buy Sierra tools, I go all the time. Like, so I go to 23 markets a year, and $3. So I just thought it kind of, I like that, the detail on there and that, so I'll put it up here, you guys want to look at it, I mean, the blades, my gosh.
Give you $1.50 for it.
I have that system as a teenager. And
Right after the Civil War.
Give you $1.50 for it.
okay. I cut this out, of course, I was finding the center and everything to work. Now, my original plan was to cut this out and go across here with blue and stars here and then stripes down here. Now, I showed it to my wife and my daughter-in-law, and neither one of them wanted for our yard or their yard. So I'm not gonna continue with that. So my thing is, if anybody else wants to continue with this, they can have it. I don't know if anybody wants to have it, but they can have it. I'll leave it up here. I won't take it. But it's there, I'm gonna please take it. I have one in the basement anymore, but I don't want to look what my wife did and daughter on the block. The other thing I have to say is, okay, I deal with mouths and I do line and stuff. And I'm looking for some kind of engineer. I know one time somebody gave me a car and they were an engineer. Was it you that gave me a car? Oh, okay, no, you just.
I talked to you.
Okay, so you can still help me out and electrical stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. Problem solved. I gotta read my. One of these days I'll give you a call and even we'll find a day when I can come over. So I'm working on a spaceship right now and I want a little electrical guidance.
Okay.
I'd be scared to let it eat all my birds, so.
Oh, yeah, it will. It'll have miniature lasers on it for you. You'll call your first.
Thanks, Greg.
What?
No, that's just where we have it. Well, when somebody gives you free wood, you gotta make something out of it. So with the wood we picked up 2 weeks ago, I made a few boards.
Can you, Mike? Sir. Close to the microphone. I'm deaf.
Okay. With the wood that we got 2 weeks ago, off the trailer, I made some boards real quick. Fun part was trying to glue them up. Pretty much simple, but there's a lot of waste on this one. Ended up with a square board this way, and then ended up cutting that out this way. So trying to figure out what I was gonna do with the waste. It looks like I'm making coasters. Okay, but that's what I came up with.
Mhm.
This is one of the boards I made with Mark at his shop and everything. Very nice and yeah, very nice shop. Right, but my wife's name is Cindy, so I made it for her. She hasn't seen it yet, so.
Save it for getting a jail free card.
There you go, Christmas present.
Thank you, Bob.
I do a lot of scroll saw work, so you guys probably are shocked when you see something like this. I was digging around in my basement and I found all these acrylic blanks. So I decided to dust off the old lathe and I made these blanks for wine bottle stoppers. The wood is Rhodesian black walnut. It's a scrap piece of wood from one of the guys I know. He works in a gunsmithing place and they sell anywhere from $2,000 to $8,000 weapons, either rifles or shotguns. The base is made out of corian. The difficulty was drilling the two holes on the bottom at an angle to be able to hold this to achieve the angle that I have here. So that's one part. Then the other part.
Nice display.
No.
It's display.
Rob was nice enough to take some of that Bay Madison wood and glue it together for me. Then I made this. This is a what do we have here? We got birch, oak, maple, Paduke, and in the middle is Brazilian cherry. The way that I did this was I made a template for the shape that I wanted. And then I used a Dove, a bull router bit to go ahead and cut this out. Okay. This wasn't easy to do. I did make another one. I made a round one. Okay, I made a template for that too. And as you know that the router bowl bits have a guide bearing up on the top. So it rides along the seam, and then you take that off later on and then you can, it just guides itself all the way down. First thing that you gotta do though, is you have to drill all these holes out so that you're not routering for ages. Okay. That's yours.
How big are you getting with your
No more than 8, because then it gets to be, it bogs down too much, because there's the woods are different densities. And then when it spins and it hits the hard maple or the oak or something, you know, then but you know, just it takes a while. But you drill down enough, and then you plunge route down to get your base, so that the little dimple from the Forstner bit is gone.
That's what I
Okay. The other thing that you have to do is you have to get a piece of 1/4-inch acrylic or more and build a base for your router so that it bridges this, okay? And you take your normal base off that it comes with and you put this base on. I have a base that's that wide. So it, whichever way I want to go, I'm supported on either side.
Thank you, Wally.
Ran into a Superman.
Wally also donated a wine stopper to Dina upstairs in the basket.
Started marketing.
Thank you all.
My name is Nick. My wife's favorite puzzle is called the 15 puzzle. Maybe some of you are familiar with it. You shuffle the pieces around to get them, you know, numerically in order. So for our anniversary this year, I made her a 15 puzzle out of walnut and white oak. It's pretty simple. It took only about an hour. What you do is just take 20-inch long. 2¼ inch long strips, you rip them. And then it's just all tongue and groove. So the pieces look like this, the tongue on the side, and then a groove and a groove. And you run the long strips with the tongue in one groove, and that what you should do is then finish up on a router table. I was stupid enough where I thought, hey, I can actually do the tongue on this small piece on my table saw. Not a good idea. I got 3 kickbacks in a row. And I'm like, you know what? I'm switching over to the router table. I'm not doing that again. So, and then, yeah, so you do 2 grooves, you do 1 groove, 1 tongue on the table saw, and then finish up on the router table. Put your box together, gluing only 2 sides, put the 3rd side in with a strap clamp, glue it up, take the other side that was just there as a positioner, put all the pieces in, glue up the last side, and then there you go. So, oh, that was with a laser engraver. Yeah, so those are all laser engraved. And if I did it again, I wouldn't, maple, I mean, the walnut worked great, but the white oak, because of its density in the grain, the etching of the laser onto the white oak, just, it doesn't look as clean as it could have. So I probably use a softer wood for the lighter wood, whereas the darker wood, it was fine. But yeah, it turned out pretty good. The kids love it. They play with it all the time. The interior of the box is just, again, it's just grooved all the way around. But on this side, I cut some strips and I glued in the strips for the tongue on this corner. And so they're able to freely move around, but you know, you can't take any piece out. So then my last suggestion, if you do something like this and you have somebody that you don't really like, there's only so many permutations of the numbers that can occur. So you can put the numbers in an order that will never be correct. I think it drives them nuts.
Are you still married? Okay.
Technically, the way you're supposed to do it is when it's done, it's supposed to be in a checkerboard pattern. I didn't know that, but you know, she pointed that out to me and I was like, you can never win, you know?
That is.
I'm Ashley, so this isn't finished, but I was,
Ashley, could you move closer to the mic?
my name is Ashley. This is not finished. Okay. But I decided to take on what we had the presentation the last month about with
The ring.
doing the ring. So it's really hard to see, but it's not finished, like I said, but it's to the point where now I can sand it down and get to the finished part of it. And it has diamond, opal, and onyx, or obsidian, sorry.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I got 3 things kind of related, but.
Saturday and Sunday upstairs, Woodcraft's doing a turn for troops. You can, if you got a lathe and you're not using it anymore, come upstairs there and get motivated. If you've never used a lathe, give it a try. You don't have to bring anything except yourself. Everything's provided. It's Saturday and Sunday all day. Woodcraft provides the kits and then we do them and they ship them off to military bases. Sometimes they've done an aircraft carrier. Woodcraft donates probably about 14,000 a year. So all the stores make them. This store turns out somewhere between 700 and 1,200. So it's free, doesn't cost you anything. A lot of fun. I made this box for Eat the Perch. It's been a neat cherry marquetry squares. Top comes off like that. Shellacked on the inside, just, the black gold Danish oil on the outside. Four of them.
Very nice.
Another thing, I don't know if anybody's aware, but all the libraries, you can get books and download them onto your tablets or on your phone or on your computer or onto everything except for my wife's flip phone.
A flip phone.
And so you can download books, it's all free. But also, they have like 6 woodworking magazines. And it's all free, and it's
Okay.
Woodsmith, Australia. Shop Notes, they used to have that, and it came back. Popular Woodworking, Woodcraft Magazine, they sell up here. Woodworkers Journal, they sell at Rockler. And one called Perkis, which is it's all like hand tools. So it's all free. All you need is the library card. You can pretty nice. All the articles are there.
Is that Milwaukee or just Waukesha? Is it
Any
any?
library in the state of Wisconsin.
Oh,
And if you don't have a
Okay.
library in the state of Wisconsin and your daughter lives in Colorado, you can just use her library card. They
oh,
don't.
for crying out loud.
And so, a lot of times with, magazines, you get the pages and like that, and you can just hit article, and the whole article appears and you can read it. Just like that.
Can you print off of it?
You can print it off. I usually print off my computer. I haven't figured out how to work the Wi-Fi in my printer for the last 12 years, so.
Yeah. Gotta plug it in first.
You know, it works because it sure likes to use the ink,
Oh, okay.
right? So there's like 3,000 magazines, 55,000 books. It's all different languages, whatever you're into. If you're into guns, woodworking, quilting, sewing, cooking, gardening, making little wooden boats. It's Libby. They used to use somebody else, and I think they bought Libby. But it comes through your library, and then which is part of the Wisconsin Federation Library, blah, blah, blah. But as long as you have a card.
Libby is the actual app that you use.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you have to have your library card to get onto Libby.
Yes. Right.
So if you don't have a
And
library
for
card,
those of you that don't read well or don't have time to sit down and read, I listen to a lot of audiobooks.
they have audiobooks. Anytime I search, I just turn off the audiobook. I used to read maybe 10, 12 books a year. Probably in the last 18 months, I've read like about 150 books. You know, it's so much easier to read. I like the magazine. I'm down to one magazine now, Fine Woodworking. But everything else, just kind of looking at it. So 6 magazines for free.
Hey, Dave, Ron can help you get a printer.
Oh, man, that's great.
As an aside from what he said, I live in Germantown, so that's part of the Monarch Library. So you should go to your local library. They have a person there that can assist you. They will tell you what system that you belong to. And then you can sign in to that system, and it's like Germantown has like 5 or 6 different libraries that belong to it. So it depends on how large of an area that your system is in, as to how many books and things that you can get.
We got 1,000 here in our life.
Okay, good.
Hi, my name's Beth. I made this little ghost this afternoon. That's just out of Basswood. There's a couple different people that do YouTube videos. they just show step by step throughout doing them, and it's kind of fun. One is Doug Linker, and the other one is like DDALO. But they're just made out of 1 inch by 1 inch by about 2.5 inch basket pieces, so nice and quick. I gotta get ahead of the holidays, so I'm trying to I said, I should probably work on some Thanksgiving things, I guess.
Hi, my name is Floyd, and I attended one of Mark's classes and made this board with lots of help from him. The nice thing I thought of was he was able to customize what went in here. The design was all his, but he changed this from Nana's Kitchen to my daughter's name, so now I have a Christmas present.
Anyone else? Okay, Jerry, you wanna take over and I'll run upstairs and get Chris and Dee. Gary, use the microphone.
I just got turned it back on.
Okay,
There you go.
okay.
But you got, yours is
Okay,
done.
okay. All right. I said I'd like to reschedule to finish up sometime next year with another one, and maybe I'll have more done then, so we can see it. But I'd hate to rush through the next 50 or 60 slides. To me, they're some of the most important ones, because it all deals with the metal work and the resistance soldering tool that I have, and a bunch of other stuff. So if that's all right.
Yep.
Okay.
That would mean that everybody here has to re-up for next year then.
Yeah.
All right.
Everybody did, they just raised their hand.
Yeah.
All right, any questions then, while we got some time left?
Thank you, Jerry, you did a fantastic job.
Oh, thank you very much. Okay. Thank you very much, I appreciate that.
Jerry,
Yes,
I have a question.
sure.
How long is the actual ship?
Somebody else asked that.
Yeah, actually, look at your book,
Yeah.
at break, it said it was, as you said, it varies from ship to ship, but
Right.
it's somewhere in the range like 39 to 48 feet or
Right,
something.
something like that, there you go,
15-foot beam, it said.
right,
Very small.
Yeah,
yeah, it is, yeah, they're not real big, yeah. Yeah. What I'll try to do next time also, there is a great film on YouTube showing people working on an oyster, on one of these ships, collecting oysters. It's real, about 10 minutes long, something like that. I'll bring that with me next time also. Right?
I like it.
Yes, sir?
That keel, do they lift it by hand or do they lift it up the keel? He's talking about.
Oh, when they build the real ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think they winch it up somehow. You know, they probably have A-frames that they lift it up with and pulleys. You know, yeah. Okay. Anything else?
Nope.
All right, thank you very much. Well, we got him here, yeah, so stay here, stay here.
We made something for you for the fall because of all the help that you.
Okay.
So we wanted to present this to you from the deal. How cool is that? It's made from the big mass and strips. Oh, no.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you very much for what you do for us. We appreciate it. Wonderful. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thanks for all the help that you provide us and support. So, we all kind of work together. Don't drink bottle tonight. Well, yeah, this morning, we have to see on the back. Thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't finish it. I said I would come back next year with another presentation. Finish.
And a finish.
That's the best. Yeah.
There's 60.
Yeah, that's the best stuff. Yeah, so I'll schedule another meeting, and maybe I'll have more done. Like done by then.
All right, okay,
Okay,
so I guess we are here. Thank you very much.
Monday, special day Monday, right?
no, that's the next, this is the boom, all those little pieces on it, all those all eyes on it.
Yeah.
Sure, go ahead. That is really nice. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah.